The fact that we have designated, mandated reporters in each county, in each state, each city in the United States for CPS or Family Protective Services, and yet children are still dying at the hands of people that have actually been reported on. That's absolutely ridiculous. I just want to start this video off by saying rest in peace, Gavin, and my condolences to everyone that loved and cared for Gavin. I'm actually going to insert 2 news report clips just so you guys can get some more details about what's going on. Please watch.
In play over a 12-year-old West Haven boy's death, we've still yet to learn how Utah's Department of Child and Family Services, DCFS, handled claims from several school workers prior to his death.
Weber schools confirmed last week that abuse and neglect concerns were reported directly to the state.
Yeah, but employees who made those complaints say it's clear they might not have been taken seriously. Our Ariel Harrison live from DCFS with the very latest for us tonight. Ariel.
Mark, Jamie, educators fall into that realm of mandated reporters. And like we just mentioned, Weber schools confirmed with us last week that multiple complaints were filed by employees and long before the boy died 2 weeks ago. Now, the district has warned its employees from speaking with media. However, one former and 2 current employees wanted to talk because they say they just can't stay silent about this.
He was your typical little kid. You had to tell him to sit down occasionally.
It's been several years since Jackie Allred drove the bus 12-year-old Gavin Peterson rode to school.
Was there any neglect at that point that you noticed?
Not that I noticed. I know the stepmother was very protective, wanted to make sure he sat where she thought he needed to be.
But news of his death hits too close to home. She lives just a door down from where Gavin lived and where his family members were arrested last week. Allred says the allegations keep her up at night.
Still haunts me.
You worked in Gavin's school?
Yes, I was a lunch lady.
Jan Davis, a former district employee, told me she is one of the workers who reported abuse concerns to DCFS. She says after a group of them tried to feed Gavin at school, his stepmom put a stop to it.
The next week he come to school and he had a chipped front tooth, and we were all afraid that we had caused that.
In addition to Davis and other lunch workers, she says Gavin's principal, the school nurse, and a teacher also filed complaints with the state. Bus drivers did as well.
I felt like something needed to be done.
Brindy Lippum helps on the buses in the district. She didn't know Gavin well, but planned the vigil for him last night. A task that broke her heart, knowing so little about the boy from his obituary.
One photo, they say they knew what he liked, Pokemon and Blue. It was a school picture. Where was he as a kid? Where was he playing? We don't really know he liked Pokemon because obviously he wasn't doing those things.
As frustration builds, so do the calls and demands for answers.
Did they check into it? What was their findings and why didn't they help him?
Now, Davis says she tried to follow up on her report about Gavin, but was told by the DCFS hotline that privacy laws prevented them from sharing that information. She feels strongly now that if school personnel see and report abuse regarding children's safety in the schools, that they should know whether those reports or filings were ever followed up on. Reporting live from DCFS, Ariel Harrison.
I really want to give a shout out to everybody who filed reports, but most of all to the lunch ladies. Gavin died from starvation. These lunch ladies were actually trying to provide him with food while he was at school. There was even a report that he was stealing food from other kids. And some adults may look at that child like, oh, this child is horrible, but this child is going through things at home. Not to say that some children just don't have bad behavior, but can you imagine wanting food so bad that you're willing to take it from another person? So I just really commend, I believe her name is Miss Davis, and the other school lunch ladies for trying to help.
To a story on KSL that we continue watching closely. Prosecutors allege 12-year-old Gavin Peterson suffered for years before dying of starvation earlier this month. Today, Gavin's older sister is breaking her silence, alleging her father and stepmother also tortured and starved her before turning on Gavin. News specialist Garner Mejia has the details.
They manipulated me into hating my mom.
Melanie Peterson says she lived in a world of isolation under the roof of her father, Shane Peterson, and stepmother, Nicole Scott.
She called me names every day.
The emotional and physical abuse started in late 2018 when she was about 13. Melanie describes disturbing details like the time Nicole allegedly shaved her head as punishment for brushing her hair.
At that time, I was mostly focused on surviving.
But that was only the start.
They would starve me until I was really skinny.
Melanie says she was fed 1 to 2 times a day, the same food prosecutors allege her little brother Gavin ate before presumably dying of hunger.
The same thing Gavin did. Bread with mustard.
Melanie says Nicole included the mustard because the kids hated it.
I can't go there.
She also alleges being locked inside a bedroom. Nicole tracked her every move with a camera. At one point, zip-tied her to the bed.
They would tie my ankles, and she said if I moved, she'd beat me over and over again.
Melanie says Nicole beat her with a belt or a wooden spoon. In March 2019, a concerned friend reported the abuse at school, and Melanie alleges DCFS was brought in.
They basically told me that they couldn't do anything. I told them that I was like deathly terrified to go back with them.
Instead, Melanie says a safety plan was created, and Nicole wasn't allowed to be alone with her.
I remember her telling me she wanted to kill me.
But the abuse allegedly continued until May of 2019, when Melanie was finally able to go live with her mom. But Gavin wasn't allowed to come with her.
I want Gavin to get the justice he deserves.
And the suspects are due back in court tomorrow. DCFS has declined to comment on the case. So
I just pray that Gavin truly gets the justice that he deserves. Nothing will bring him back, but I do pray that he gets the justice that he deserves. And I wanted to post this video as a reminder for all of us to be a village. If you see a child, just love that child. I'll try to be there for that child. You never know what kids are going through. No child deserves to even go through even a little bit of what Gavin went through. So this is a reminder to just be a village, be there for other people. Thanks.